Hey, good morning. I've got a bunch of happy stuff to share with you. So even if you're not watching in the morning, I'm sure hope it'll just brighten up your day. I'm Cadence Kidwell, proprietress here at Fuzzy Goat in Thomasville, Georgia. And you can see all that I'm talking about at fuzzygoatyarns.com. I will happily talk about my sweater, yes, that I'm wearing as it is intended and finished when we get towards the end. So, but we've got so many fun things in, just lots of happy things that just make us happy, give us that little sense of joy and wonder and whimsy, and supporting small businesses all at the same time. So we hope that these things I'm sharing with you will also make you happy, because they really delighted us when they came in. First up, we have a kit to make this Manos del Uruguay crayon box baby blanket. Isn't this darling? This is crocheted, so for you crocheters, we're starting off right off the bat with the crochet kit. Manos, talk about happy. First of all, this blanket is super cute, super happy. They showed us the pattern and I'm like, oh, we're gonna wanna make kits. And so they made us some kits. And so we have it with this light blue color with all the different little mini skeins. Whoops, see them in there? To make this, or if you wanted something a little more neutral, you could do the ivory here with all the different colored mini skeins in there too. But you know, I've told you about Manos before. Manos is a group of women. It's a yarn dyer situation in Uruguay, and they fund healthcare for the women that work there. They really make a difference in their villages. They fund childcare with that. So though Manos may cost a little bit more, it's because of all the lovely things that they're doing. So these are just beautiful kits. It's really sweet. It's a granny square, so not super hard. And look at all those fun colors. How fun is that? So we were very excited about our crayon box baby blanket. I'm just gonna leave it laying there for a little bit because it's so much fun. Also from our friends at Manos is the restock of our Girl's Best Friend kit. This is one of our favorite designers, Isabel Kramer's pattern, Girl's Best Friend. You can see it here. This is the Goat Gang version. And this here is the Fuzzy Goat version, and we adapted it and made kits so that it is a little bit smaller, and it uses one full skein of Fino and then one set of mini skeins of Fino, which is a lovely merino silk blend. And we adapted it so that it would work with the mini skeins. And then this was our original color set. And then we put together this color set at market last year so that we have two of them for Girl's Best Friend. And look how good they go with our French market skirts that I'll show you about in just a little bit. So that was a really fun box that we got from Manos here. You make her a little bit more presentable, right? She didn't have a top on, so we'll get her set up there. So those are some of our things that we got in the mail from Manos this week. Then we just got the funnest things ever. Okay, so I'm gonna grab my basket here. I'm gonna start with these ring dishes from Cristina in Texas. So Carolina said one day, she goes, we need a ring dish for me when I knit. I take my rings off and I wanna put them in a special place next to where I'm knitting. And so I found Cristina. She is a maker in Texas, so you're supporting her. And so we have this cute little sardine, and all of her dishes say howdy on the back. And then how will you ever decide between the orange and the strawberry? Also great for stitch markers too, especially this one. As you can see, it's a little bit deep, so they won't be popping out, and so satisfying to run your finger in there and pick them back up. And you get the little howdy message on the back. So those are super cute and just made us really delightfully happy. Then we also got in our embroidered pouches. Look how sweet this little gem is. So these are embroidered in Vietnam and also fair wage. We do look into that to make sure that people are being treated fairly. And so this one has a little bunny on it, and this one has a little bird. And of course you can use these as coin pouches as they were originally intended. Something about this just reminds me of my grandmother and being a little girl and having a coin purse. But they're also great for your stitch stoppers, and especially your stitch stoppers and your stitch markers in there. But maybe you don't want one quite that big, or maybe you really do want one for your lipstick, as these are intended. But I love using things that for different reasons. You even have a little mirror in there, should you need it. But I think these are really sweet for your stitch markers also. And so we have a navy and an ivory in those. I mean, just look at the work on that. Look how pretty that is. And these great pin cushions, and they do work with your blocking T-pins. So you can put those in there, and also, so really pretty and embroidered and just classic, and just makes you feel like you're part of a whole chain of makers, right? You know, some lovely person embroidered this and put their heart and soul into it. But then also when I'm using my stick pins and a pin cushion like this, it makes me think of my grandmother. So just lots of lovely feels all the way around with those little things. Then we got these brooches in. They are like just pinning on happy. So if you're looking for a way to just like brighten up your day, we have this color here. We've got the green, and we have orange, and we have blue. And look at them. They are made out of resin. They're imported from Spain, and they're just really a lot of fun. So we've got those, and then also some, if you want something buzzing, we've got our dragonfly and our bee, also imported from Spain. They were a little busy to go on this. I mean, this is a little busy too, but I don't care. I like layering it on. And then along with our other brooches, we got a restock of our two guys bow ties. Two of them are on stick pins, and then the other two are these like kind of thumbtack kind of situations here. And I love these for holding together the top of a cardigan, or even I would put this one just as decoration, but you can also use it to kind of hold your shawl in place. They're originally meant for boutonnieres, but you know, again, we're going to use them the way we want to use them. So those were all a bunch of fun stuff that came in. Yarn bowls. So we wanted to make sure that we had enough before we put these online. Elaine, who does all our sample knitting for us, made, how many say this? Elaine's son, one of her triplet sons, made these with his 3D printer. And she came in one day, especially with this one, this double one, because she wanted, so let me back up. Locally made to a knitter's specifications. That's what I wanted to say. Oh, thank you, Rhonda, for the compliment on my sweater. I'll be happy to talk about that shortly. She's knitting 2 at a time socks, so she uses it with 2 at a time socks, and others have been finding it immediately helpful for color work. Had I started my color work, had she had these when I started my color work, I absolutely would have used it for this because it holds it down. And so Elaine really worked with Casey to make sure that they were exactly the size she wanted. The holes were easy to get the yarn in and out, but not so easy that it just popped out. And so that we have these double ones, and we have a single one, and we have the iridescent, and we have our fuzzy goat turquoise also. Yeah, little noisy things over there I'm going to show you. So these came in, so we have more now to send out to all of you, or you can come in and pick your own too as well. So isn't that fun? Hey Stephanie, we've been thinking about you, moving away from here all the way up into the Northeast. Then let's go to my noisy little situations over here. We got these tiered tins. Yes, you could put your lunch in them, but how cute would these be for storing your notions? And we have 3 different colors. We have this light turquoise. This is a dark green. It may appear black, but it's actually a very dark green. I'll open it up for you in just a second. And then we have this orange, the birds on it, and the flowers, and just really, really happy. And so they have a little handle. So you can grab the little handle. Let me open this up, and it's two tiers. So one tier, you could put your markers. The second one, you could put your stitch stoppers. You could put your scissors in there. You could put your little bits and bobs and bobbins and so forth in one, and then the other one, and then you can lock them up together. And then it just moves from room to room, or even goes in your knitting tote. They're so cute. I'm very excited about those. As you can tell, yes, we're having a lot of happy here. We just, you know, want to fill our time and our lives with things that give us joy and just support these small makers. And you can trust us that we have looked for, we spend millions of hours looking, I mean, literally since I've started the store, looking for products for you guys. The Doodle Decks are back in. This is a great way to do color work. You get these cards inside. This one here is the spring Doodle Deck. And then we also have the basic one back in. And then we have a lot of other specialty ones, and I'll show you. And you get cards this size. And they have, this one has 51 different doodles, which is a different way. Each of it is going to be a graph to do a different way of color work. So if you have, it'll tell you, so like if you have an 8 stitch and you want to do that in there, we're getting ready to put some, to use an idea for this to do like coffee cozies. And we have some coffee cozy patterns. So we've got the basic one and the spring. We have a baking one. So if you're feeling like you're cheating on your baking while you're knitting, you could do this and then match them together. We also have the camping ones, which I think are super fun. And then we have these 2 destination ones. Malin just got back from London. And then we also have Paris, which Betty's going to. So we love getting those there too. So the Doodle Decks are a lot of fun. Also in the mail are our buttons, our British buttons. So let me move this out of my way because I have my British buttons on my sweater. These are the biggest ones we have, the tortoiseshell. They get hard to show you. Let's see. And let me think about that for a second. I have these little green ones. Can you see those there? Last night when these came in, I cut the buttons off my other steeked sweater, the Descent, because I'm going to put these on there. Won't that look? Let me get one out. I'll show you. That's going to look really good. So last night I cut them off in preparation for putting new ones on. I had some vintage buttons that I bought, and I love them, but the color didn't hold up. And so that's just not going to do because I'm all about the color. So here's this little button, and it's going to go. It's hard to hold it and let you see it. There you go. It's going to go on there. And so I've got all my, I love these simple locking stitch markers because you can put them on with one hand. And I've got them all lined up with my buttons, which actually needed to kind of be done because this pattern really needs to come back around and match up. And I think the way I had my other set of buttons, something wasn't quite right. I want to make sure it does that. This is my Descent sweater, also a steeked sweater and reminiscent of Ruth Bader Ginsburg Descent collar. So while we're looking at the sweater, let me show you. This was my first time that I steeked a sweater, meaning that you knit the color work in the round, and then once you are ready for it to be a cardigan and you do a fair amount of preparation, you cut it, you prepare it also by securing the stitches with a crocheted border, and then you cut the sweater. This one did not cut neatly, cleanly. My yarns are, one is a little thicker than the other, and the tweed, I've talked about that, was a little fussy. Not that I wouldn't do it again, but I would probably use both tweeds or something different. So I ended up covering up my mess with some ribbon. No one's the wiser, except for all of you that I just showed it to. But I love wearing this, and now it's going to get some new buttons and a new life because we have, let me see if I can show it to you here. We have all, it's easier to see them online because we have much prettier pictures online. But we've got these little fox heads here. We've got these little pink tea kettles. if that's your jam. I think we have one set of these ginger cats, and I know it's all kind of glary like now, so I really recommend you go look at them online. I have used these red ones before, and Madeline and Melissa have both used these colored, multicolored ones there. But we got the buttons yesterday afternoon, and I sort them back out, and I kind of feel a little bit like a drug dealer because I'm opening up these special little packages, and I'm counting each one out and putting it in its own little package just for you. And they come, most of them are in sets of 10, except for the really big ones and another set of ceramic ones. So these are the tortoiseshell buttons. Before I get to my sweater, Dee brought us some new skirts. So we're styling them with our shawl here, so you could see, like, you could put a t-shirt on, wear this skirt, put a shawl on, and look how fabulous that looks together. And then this one here just goes really great together. And then we only have one of each. That's the way it works. Occasionally we might get a second one, but it's very rare. And these are the other ones that we have. So they just look all happy together. I could have put that with that one there. And I wish I could remember all the names of them. This one is Sirens, Sea Sirens. I do remember that. And this one is Picnic something. Look how sweet that. And I have the measurements too, so that you can see what the measurements are. Hey Heather, we were so glad to have you visit last week, and yeah, we're ready to have you come back too. Look at this really pretty teal. They're great. Dee makes them. I've had these skirts much longer than I've had the store, so I had to go ask Dee if she would make some skirts for us. She sources these fabulous, hard to find fabrics. They have a really nice heft to them. They do not have pockets with intention, because not wanting to add, they actually lay in a very nice way, and the pockets would interfere with that. Dee has these made, they're not just gathered any old fashion, but they actually have very specific pleats where they lay down so that it actually makes a nice flat front in there. And I like to wear mine not at my waist, but a little bit more down on my hip. And then Kathy and I were talking about that yesterday. Like, I'll usually wear a button down and tuck that in. My friend Elizabeth will wear a t-shirt, and if the t-shirt's not the right length, she just kind of cuts the t-shirt. But they're really a lot of fun to wear. And then this one here, this one doesn't show up on the photograph. It doesn't do it justice. This one's really sweet too. All right, let's talk about my sweater. Yes, it is cut. It is cut. I will show you. So I'm going to unbutton it. We have a video. Madeline videoed me cutting it, and then once I put it on, I saw that it gaped a little bit, so I actually have snaps in between my buttons. So there we have a cardigan. So what's really fun about this particular pattern is the steek happens at the very end. I had picked up my button band. I think I showed you that last week. It was all ready to go, and all that was happening still was that this was still connected in the middle. This pink is my securing, my crochet securing that keeps it from unraveling, and that is all part of any steeking directions that I have seen. And I will put the link up to the pattern and the crochet technique, and then also the cutting. Even Carolina took a turn at the cutting. I was not nervous while I was doing it. I was super excited, but after I was done, I will admit, when I was done and Madeline was through filming, I did feel a little bit like, oh, what did I just do? I bungee jumped once, and it's kind of like that. Super excited, and then afterwards like, oh my God, what did I just do? I'm never doing it again, I'll tell you that. And I was much younger. But I just love it. I think I will probably always wear it buttoned up, but so you could knit the whole sweater and have it look like a cardigan and never cut it. You could chicken out, because that's what happens at the very end. And then I did put these snaps in, because you can see it kind of gapes a little bit more than I want it to. That may settle out as time goes on, I'm not sure, but I wasn't willing to wait because I wanted to wear it. And so Here is my Barberry, B-A-R-B-E-R-R-Y sweater. And also want to say, I used yarn out of the sale for this. So if you don't think you have enough of yarn, but you are just like me, just determined to want to make it, I ended up using yarn in a different weight for my ribbing. And I'll tell you, I was more than prepared if I didn't find that. The thing I thought of first was using the purple, which was not sale yarn, and we did have, using the purple for the band and the ribbing, and that would have been really pretty too. You could see how the color is a little bit different in there, and the weight is too. It's a worsted, but I was determined to make this sweater with the body being this color in the sale yarn. So we're happy to help you put some together and cheer you on should you want to do a steeked version. And those are the things that we got in that are making us happy this week. I sure hope that your knitting and crocheting is making you happy. And if we can help you find some way to make you even more happy with it, you know, help you find the right pattern, help you decipher what's going on in your pattern, we love to do that. We're good at it. We like to do it all day long, and we're here for you. So we're all in this knitting and crochet little world together, and we're here to support each other. So thank you very much. Go do something that makes you happy.